But I just left a restaurant collaboration crying.
That has to be one of the most arrogant, self-important things that you can say to another human being. It wasn't professional, and quite frankly, it was just cruel. Hey loves. So today's story, we've got a TikToker named Carla. She's a food content creator who collabs with restaurants, visits, and shares her honest reviews. Now, Carla had a scheduled collab with this restaurant and she was scheduled to get there for 5:30 p.m. She got there a little early, around 5:10, just to settle in. She met the employee she's been chatting with on Instagram who welcomed her kindly. All seemed fine at first, but then things took a shocking turn. She was confronted by another staff member who we later find out is the owner of the restaurant. And let's just say he did not hold back. He told Carla to her face that she doesn't have enough followers to be working with a restaurant like his. He publicly disrespected and humiliated her to the point where she was literally in tears. Take a look.
I don't know if I'm gonna post this video because I'm still shaking and I feel so frazzled, but I just left a restaurant collaboration crying. I had a TikTok collab with a new restaurant in Hayes Valley that I was really excited for. I had it planned since last week. My reservation was at 5:30, but I went a little early at 5:10, so it was just me. My husband was going to meet me there. When I get there, I'm greeted by the host and I introduce myself, tell him I'm here for the collab, and he was actually the guy I was speaking on Instagram with about it, so we were on the same page and ready to go. I started to film around the restaurant because I like to do that early on when there's less people. And after filming for a bit, I sit down at the table that's prepped for me, and it's a bar counter seat. I'm continuing to film the setup in the kitchen and stuff because it's really cute, but I hear the host and this other guy talking. And this other guy is behind the counter, so it's a small restaurant. He's 2 or 3 feet away from me, so I can hear everything they're saying. I know that they're talking about me because I can hear them saying TikTok, views, followers, so I start listening in. The new guy is asking the host who I am, why I'm here, and how many followers I have on TikTok and what my TikTok is. And this guy pulls up my TikTok and says that I have 15,000 followers and I have some videos have millions of views, whatever, and this guy is not happy about it. He was saying that I have too little followers and that this was a mistake. Saying what about her Instagram, how many followers does she have there, and I don't use my Instagram for food, it's just my private Instagram. So this guy tells him that I have 1,300 followers and he is not having it. Saying to the host that he shouldn't have invited me and that this was a mistake and that this was bad. And then he says, is she dining alone? Who else is coming? And the host says that I have a +1. And then he says, and this +1's late, but no one was late. I was there early. Mind you, this is all happening in front of me and they know that I can hear because we are so close to each other.
And that's what's truly shocking about this entire situation. The owner is standing there openly questioning his employee about Carla's profile. He's asking things like, how many followers does she even have? How many views does she get? And then he proceeds to call her following small, literally belittling her right there in front of her. No respect, no discretion, no emotional awareness. Seriously. They're having this conversation in such close proximity to her with no regard to how she might actually feel. That alone tells you the type of person this owner is. He didn't care and he wasn't even trying to hide his disdain. It was rude, it was unprofessional, and honestly just nasty. He could have pulled his employee aside, had that conversation in private, in the back, away from her. But instead he chose to humiliate her in public. And I can only imagine how Carla would have felt in that moment, probably wishing the ground would just open and swallow her. But the owner doesn't stop there. He takes it a step further and he actually approaches her. Instead of putting on even a shred of professionalism or basic human decency, he doubles down on the attitude. He doesn't even pretend to be polite. Take a look at how he speaks to her. It's honestly disgusting. And guys, if you're still here, thank you. Please hit the subscribe button and join this wonderful community. Let's get back into it.
At this point, I am turning red because I'm so embarrassed and I feel really disrespected, but The new guy comes to me and I introduce myself, I shake his hand, and I'm telling him that I'm still excited about this collab. Immediately he says, "Did you do any research on this restaurant? Do you know what we do? Do you know who we are?" And mind you, they're really new, they don't have a website, but I know their menu front and back because whenever I go to a restaurant, I study the menu because I know what I like to order and I want to know what the restaurant is that I'm collabing with. I tell him that you guys don't have a website, but I know you are a wine bar and you serve smaller bites. He is smirking while he's listening to me and saying that I didn't do any research and that he thinks that there's been some miscommunication. He asks for my TikTok, which clearly you've done no research about me as well. And he starts scrolling through and playing my TikToks on full volume at the restaurant. And not even my page, just the page that comes up when you search my name. After scrolling like 2 times, he says to me that he doesn't think my videos are at the level at which he wants his restaurant to be represented. He goes on to say that my audience and my followers are not the kind of people that are going to be at his restaurant. It seemed like he was insinuating that my followers would not be able to afford to eat at this restaurant.
Okay, so, and as if things weren't bad enough, this owner takes it even further. He starts playing her TikTok video out loud in the restaurant, full volume right in front of her. No privacy, no respect, just straight up mocking her work. Not only is that incredibly rude, but it shows that they didn't do their homework before agreeing to this collab. Instead of reviewing her content beforehand, before she got there, before they even approached her, he's now doing it in front of her, publicly, dissecting her profile in front of her, and calling it not up to the level he wants his restaurant to be represented by. And then he says that her audience isn't the type of people that should dine at his restaurant. Like she said, he was implying that they can't afford it. Now, that's not just insulting Carla. It's also insulting her entire community, her followers. Let's be clear. If you're the owner of a restaurant and you're allowing your employees to arrange collabs with influencers, then it's your job to set the criteria, to provide guidelines, to make sure that everyone is on the same page before the invite goes out. Reviewing her worth on the spot in front of her is what should have been done behind the scenes, internally, quietly, and professionally. Instead, it's being done in front of her, wasting her time after all the DMs that's been sent between her and the employee. After she's carved out time, she's brought her husband along, only to embarrass her publicly and invalidate her efforts. It's disrespectful, and most of all, it shows a complete lack of empathy. If you didn't think she was a good fit, fine, let her do the review. And later, pull your employee aside and clarify your standards and your criteria for next time. That's how a leader handles things. And then, as if things weren't bad enough, he hits her with this question, "Do you know who I am?" I mean, really? That has to be one of the most arrogant, self-important things that you can say to another human being. Do you know who I am? Well, excuse me, sir, who exactly do you think you are? Well, take a look at who he says he is.
Then he says, not to be snobby, but do you know who I am? And I say no, because I don't know who he is. He says he's a James Beard Award recipient or finalist or something, and I'm like, great, like I don't know what to say to that. And he said that his daughter has 600,000 followers on TikTok and that I'm not at that level. He keeps going on. He says that my cooking videos are homey, but he doesn't think I understand what they do at that restaurant. At this point, I'm crying and I want to get out. So I tell him that I'm no longer interested in doing the collab. I tell him that I felt disrespected because they were talking about me right in front of me and belittling my work. And he tells me that he was offended because I came in and didn't introduce myself to him, which is weird because usually during restaurant collabs, the host comes and greets you because there's a lot of people at the restaurant. You don't know who the owner is or you've never seen their faces most of the time. And now it's 5:30 and my husband comes into the restaurant and he's like, "Hi, everybody," because he doesn't know what's going on. I tell my husband that we're going to leave and we're not eating here. And I tell the owner that I will be taking note of this because I want to be an advocate for micro-influencers, especially in the Bay Area food scene. You don't need to have 1 million followers to be respected or feel like you're making a difference. I love spotlighting small businesses, and I want to continue to do that and have fun.
He goes on to say that he's a James Beard nominee or recipient. And listen, even I had to look that up. And in case you're like me and you didn't know what that was, here's a brief explanation of what it is. The James Beard Awards are prestigious honours recognizing exceptional talent and achievement in the culinary arts, hospitality, media and broader food system, particularly in the United States. They are often called the Oscars of the food world due to their prestige. The awards are presented by the James Beard Foundation, a non-profit organisation dedicated to celebrating and supporting chefs and broader culinary industry. But let's be honest, awards aside, it really doesn't excuse poor character. It doesn't. He also mentioned that his daughter has 600,000 followers on TikTok and the fact that she isn't at the same level as his daughter. I'm just sitting here thinking, if your daughter has that many followers, why isn't she doing the review? Why are you even reaching out to influencers at all? Because the truth of the matter is, his daughter's content probably isn't food related, and so she probably doesn't have a voice in that area. Hence the reason why they need to reach out to food influencers. So everyone is important. I'm just scrolling through her TikTok and it just looks like it's just lifestyle based. And for me, to compare Carla to his daughter was just the final blow. It was just uncalled for. It was unnecessary. It wasn't professional, and quite frankly, it was just cruel. It was belittling. Of course, all this led to Carla being in tears. I'm not surprised because the whole situation is just humiliating and the review didn't go as planned. She didn't go ahead with it. Rightly so. Here's what I truly admire. Carla chose to speak up. She brought this moment to light. Not for sympathy, but to shine a light on how micro-influencers are often mistreated. Let's be clear, having a smaller following doesn't mean that someone lacks value. It doesn't mean they can't create impact. And it definitely doesn't mean they deserve to be disrespected. In a world where anything can go viral and where trust and relatability matters more than numbers, micro-influencers are powerful. And we'll get to see that in a few minutes. And above all, every human being, whether micro-influencer, macro-influencers, deserve respect, full stop. And guys, of course, this video went viral. At the time of filming, it had 7.1 million views and counting. And I mean counting, because while I was preparing my notes for this, the numbers were jumping in the hundreds of thousands. I mean, whilst I'm recording this, I'm just going to take a look actually and see how many views it's got. Bear with me. At 7.9 million views, and this was at about 4 hours ago. The momentum has just been wild. Now, here's the thing. If you notice, Carla never mentioned the name of the restaurant once. Somehow, the TikTok community figured it out. I really don't know how they did it. The internet has its ways. And almost instantly, people began to call out the restaurants in the comments. Here's the first comment that popped up. It says, Kiss Cafe in Hayes Valley, SF. Thanks for the heads up. Won't visit that place and will tell others not to as well. Reposted, please keep doing your content and keep your head up. No one deserves to be treated like that. This is Kiss Cafe in Hayes Valley, SF. The owner is Luke Sung. He also founded the restaurant Issa, both restaurants named after his influencer kids. And guys, as you've just seen from the comment I read, not only did people figure out the restaurant name, they also figured out the owner, Luke Sung. It turns out this restaurant was opened in May 2025, so it's actually brand new. And TikTok detectives, they do not play. They not only found the name of the restaurant, the name of the owner, they also found the name of his children, including his daughter that he mentioned had over 600,000 followers. Out of respect, I'm not going to show his daughter's name. However, I can confirm that she does have over 600,000 followers, as her dad had claimed. If you scroll through his daughter's page, there's actually a clip of her filming her dad making them dinner. We could see Luke Sung in that video. So we know definitely that this is his daughter's page. A lot of people have mentioned that Luke Sung's daughter actually left a comment on Carla's post apologizing. I've tried to look for it, but there are so many comments there. I personally haven't seen it, but I think it's important that I mention that. Now let's talk about that James Beard comment. Articles say that Luke Sung was nominated as James Beard Rising Star Chef of the Year in 2000 and 2003. That's over 2 decades ago. Like, seriously? He never actually won the award. Based on the way he was asking the question, do you know who I am? You'd think he was just crowned Chef of the Year last week? Honestly, it's giving delusional levels of pride and arrogance. But here's the beautiful twist. Like I said earlier, this entire situation went viral and Carla received an outpouring of support. As she mentioned earlier on in the video, she mentioned that she had 15,000 followers. As I began scripting this and preparing for this video, she had 101,000 followers. And right now, as I'm filming this, she has a whopping 139.2 followers. All within 1 day of this whole thing happening. She dropped this video yesterday, all within 1 day. Like, wow. From 15,000 to 139,000 followers in a flash. I just love the way the TikTok community rallies around people who are mistreated. This is what real support looks like right there. So pure and just beautiful. But while Carla is rising, Luke Sung's business, oh boy, not so much. His restaurant now has a 1.1 Google review rating. And unfortunately, this backlash has spilled into his daughter's page too. People have been flooding her comments so much that she's had to turn off comments on some of her posts. Carla, however, handled it all with grace. She posted a follow-up video thanking everyone for the overwhelming show of love and support. But she also made it clear that Luke Sung has still not reached out to apologize. Take a look.
Okay, so much has happened in the past 24 hours and I feel like I need to come on here and give everybody kind of an update. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch my most recent video and this video will make a lot more sense. First of all, I woke up today to the most supportive and kind and genuine and encouraging comments and messages, and I've read through every single one of them and I could not be more grateful and shocked at how much empathy you guys have towards basically a stranger on the internet. I am so grateful and so appreciative of everyone that's checked in on me and made sure that I am feeling okay. And more than anything, I feel so proud because I think it goes to show how strong of a community TikTok can be. I haven't responded to any comments asking about the name of the restaurant or the owner because I don't want to get you guys or me into any type of trouble, but I feel like everyone's kind of figured it out one way or another. I do want to make it clear that I do not condone any type of bullying or slander to unrelated family members. My issue was with this specific restaurant and the specific management, and when this was happening, I not only did not know who he was, but I did not know that his family members were in the public eye. The short update is that I have not heard directly from the owner or the host about this, and I'm really hoping that they are open to taking accountability and learning and growing from this experience. But more importantly, I have gained so many new followers from this, which is pretty surreal. I'm sad that you guys first found me with a video that wasn't very positive, but I do want to go back to posting videos about food and recipes and Bay Area restaurants that I'm really excited for. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I feel so grateful for every single person that's been following me or started following me and supporting me, and we are such a strong community, and I hope that nobody on this app ever forgets that.
Such a sweet girl. Do I think Luke Sung, the owner, is going to apologize? To be honest with you, I highly doubt it. This is a man who clearly has a very big ego. And to him, apologizing will probably feel like stooping too low. I don't think he sees anything wrong with the way he acted. And if he does end up apologizing, let's be real, it's all probably just for damage control. And not because he genuinely feels remorse. Because anyone who can treat another human being in such a manner with such disrespect and such coldness, that's not someone who leads with empathy or kindness. But hey, that's just my take. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think he will apologize? Do you think he should? And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss my next video. Till next time, guys. Bye.